Hey, welcome to What the Fuck. Only a day late today. We're back from our little production hiatus. Start filming episode 608 on Monday. I'm currently finishing my draft of episode 609. 610, the draft of 610 is being written. We finished breaking 611 on Friday, and I think the first four episodes have gone out or are going out to critics, I think, if they haven't already, next week. What else? What else is going on? Just in it, we have sort of solidified our little, I don't know what we're calling it, our little after show, I guess. I think I talked about this last time. We're in the process of securing a host. We will be doing 3 episodes for the premiere, the finale, and then one other episode. And it'll be a live after show, so anything could happen. When we nail down the host, I'm sure FX will do some kind of press release. What else is going on? The first graphic novel comic book for SOA is has been nailed down. That'll be done hopefully soon, within a month or so. It'll come out near and around the premiere. They've begun work on the second one. I met with the Boom guys this week on something else, but they're very excited about it, and they're a good bunch of guys. I think you'll dig it. I think it's interesting that it's the world, it's the mythology that we all know, sort of dovetails into what I hope will spawn, a little bit parallel mythology that maybe at some point will intersect with what we do on the show. That's the plan, to sort of have them be separate entities, but running on the same path. So at any point, if they do intersect, it all sort of feels organic and the stories are logical. Look, I'm dancing. Let's get to the questions. Our first question is, who is our first question from? Our first question is from Janet from Northville, Michigan.
I'm wondering how you actually title the episodes. I've noticed as I'm watching the season over and over that some are funny and some are sarcastic and some are ironic, and so I'm wondering, do you watch like the final cut and then title the episode? It seems to me like a lot of thought goes through the titles, which normally isn't the case when you watch a TV show. So I was hoping that you could answer that for me. Thanks.
I take my titles very seriously. For me, it's it's that fine line between not that people really pay attention to titles, because I know they don't, but they are out there before the episode airs, obviously. So, I like to perhaps, engage folks with a title, obviously without spoiling anything. I don't really look at any of my titles as being clever or funny. I try to avoid that. For me, it's an opportunity to, not that I have a lot of inside stuff that the fans don't know. But for me, it's an opportunity to you know, wink towards perhaps loftier ideals that perhaps the show never quite reaches. So you know, there's a lot of literary references. There's a lot of religious references. A lot of times, if I can't come up with a title, I'll just pick an obvious title and change the language. It just sounds so much more interesting in Spanish or Gaelic or Latin. So that's a, you know, that's a cheat, but I do it. But yeah, I usually try to acknowledge the story in some way, finding a common theme that perhaps runs through the episode, and you know, so that there is some sense of it all coming back around to the episode. You know, I'm very proprietary over my titles. Sometimes I'll get a writer's draft where a writer will suggest a title, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But I always sort of have final say on titles. And I think that's the deal. I think also there's never, you know, I try not to ever spoil, so I don't think there's ever a title that perhaps gives away too much. If anything, I like to maybe lead people astray a bit, you know, get them thinking about something else, and then suddenly when it's all said and done, the title kind of works and makes sense without perhaps, you know, like, you know, like you'll never see an episode of Sons called Bloodbath. It's a little on the nose, or what was the, we used to joke in the Shield writers' room about the Nash Bridges episode titles. Smash and Grab! What was it? I forget the name of. Glenn had, it was just a famous cheese ball Nash Bridges title. What the fuck was it? Glenn, what was it? Oh, I forget. He'll tell me. I'll tell you next time. Okay, our next question comes from Jonathan, and he's from the entire state of Oregon.
My question for you is since you went into detail with Gemma's past with her parents, I was wondering if Clay has any family that's still around, and if so, if we are ever going to see them, such as siblings or parents.
Yeah, we do. You know, I always sort of bristle a little bit about introducing family backstory and having, you know, long lost relatives show up. That always just feels kind of cheesy and networky to me in terms of storytelling. So the only time we really ever do it is if, you know, somehow it feeds organically into the bigger mythology. Obviously we did it in season 3 with Gemma and her dad. You know, we were so it was so awesome, you know, to sort of tell that storyline and work with those actors, but it was always about, you know, like even for Hal Holbrook's character, Gemma's dad, you know, that was really about giving us kind of a way into Gemma that we perhaps hadn't seen before, and using that character and that relationship to as foundation for where she was going that season. And we've done it obviously for other characters. You know, we've talked a little bit about all of Bobby's crazy ex-wives. We've talked, you know, we've never met Tig's ex-wife, but I think we kind of feel like we know her at this point. We've obviously met both of his daughters, and, you know, and as far as Clay goes, we've never really gotten into that. It was very interesting. My original conceit when I was working with the whole Hamlet paradigm was that in a sort of Ophelia-esque kind of way was to have Clay have a daughter that was going to be Jax's stepdaughter, Jax's stepsister, who in Shakespearean fashion was ultimately in love with Jax, but it became too complicated. Once we were working with the terror of it all, it just became a little too incestuous, and so I ultimately got to play out some of that storyline with the Trinity story. Obviously she wasn't Clay's daughter, she was JT's, but there's never really been the opportunity organically to bring in somebody from Clay's past, and I kind of like that. I kind of like that Clay is sort of this archetype, this king that perhaps is not, is sort of this lone wolf kind of a guy, and obviously he has family, but we never really, reference brothers or sisters or siblings or parents with him, and it wasn't necessarily intentional, but it's interesting that every time perhaps we looked at a storyline that broached that family tree, it never felt right. It always felt like by doing that we were somehow going to maybe weaken Clay, or most of the time to me it probably felt too cheesy to have Clay's brother show up and or niece or something, so I usually kiboshed those stories. So it wasn't intentional from the jump, but it sort of makes sense to me in the long run that we've never really have seen too much inside of what that looked like for Clay, and I don't suspect that we will as we come into season 7 with that character. So I don't necessarily think that'll happen then either. Thank you for the questions, and I'll keep doing this. I noticed that less people are watching these since I've introduced the new concept. So we'll see what happens. Here comes my fantastic little 6-year-old daughter. So I love you guys. I'll catch you with the Q&A, and we'll catch up then. Hi, Esme.
I'm out of breath.